Day 5, 22 June 2016. Some ungodly hour before 0:30. The rumble of our bikes echo off the parking structure as two fire-breathing monsters come to life. The bikes were cool to the touch until that spark fires. The now growling phoenixes prepare to fly us out of the combustion chamber that is Las Vegas, Nevada. Is that thunder? No, it is the growing determination of riders fighting their way out of the parking garage that holds them to this hellscape. It is dark. The only light given off is the sporadic street lamps glowing a dull orange. With excited revving of the motors, we hit the switchback ramps of the multi-tiered parking garage. Layer after layer, we set off every car alarm possible. I take a second at the street exit to appreciate the 3D canvas of car alarms blinking and chirping. 5 layers of light and sound show I have made my descent. It is beautiful. A wicked grin crosses my face. I am well satisfied with it. Decision time. Do I go 100 yards against a one-way street or a half a mile out of the way circling the block? I will take the wrong way for 100, please, Alex. No surprise to me, the other couple follow my outlaw decision. We are all ready to be shed of this place. The GPS yells insistent directions to an otherwise empty street. I don't cuss her despite the exceedingly high volume of her protestation of my decision to head the wrong way. Sorry, girl, you will have to reroute. I am out of here. It is now 0:30 and 99 degrees. Las Vegas is a welcome sight in my rear view. 4 lanes collapse down to 2, and the city dissolves to country. The large trash trucks we pass give the excuse we need to ride beyond the speed limit. This gets us north as far as we can before the yellow dwarf star scorches our brains. An hour and a half later, our riding partners disappear. What the hell happened? A shiver runs through my body, not just from the thought of my friends spread out on the road dead, but from the cold that has become overwhelming. I have been fighting the urge to pull over and gear up for a long while, wanting miles away from that life-sucking heat. Not trusting the rising sun, I had pushed on, ignoring my own discomfort. The chill will leave and I will roast, were my thoughts and rationale for losing sight of my partners. Now that they are gone, that strategy is regretted. Fast as I can, I spin around and push my skill and machine to the limit, knowing I will render the medical aid that is surely needed around the next bend. Curve after curve, I push the bike, steeling myself against the carnage imagined but not yet seen. A dot comes into view. 2 riders reveal themselves to be whole, but chattering cold. They had pulled over to put on hoodies and chaps. Cooked and chilled like an unfinished dinner within 100 miles. What a wild world we live in. The high desert proves to be a different kind of animal altogether. Properly clothed, we head north once again. Fright over, miles have to be made. Ely, Nevada has another sign that strikes a chord with me. It is one of a Pony Express rider whipping his horse, striving for the next stop to change horses and keep the mail moving. My steel horse straddled, I lean into the throttle as well. Urgent mail, urgent mission. The parallels are similar enough for me. Sign after sign spur us on with the same ferocity. The hills change from high desert to grassy open plains, then take on a quickly rising, rolling hills landscape. Passes are labeled, and we are warned to watch out for a particular one. White Horse Pass is its name, and it is known to be a trial. I begin to doubt the existence of this cautionary level pass when the sign is revealed. Instantly, the wind slams into us. It succeeds in almost sending our thrumming ponies off course. My turn takes a larger arch than I want. Fortunately for me, the other lane is empty. The wind makes it hard to force the errant beast back on my intended path. Somehow I manage, but no, it could have been worse not knowing what was to come. Hill after hill fly by, dotted with cattle guards that are unusually smooth in their build, making them easy to cross. My previous knowledge of cattle guards had given me every reason to brake hard, anticipating a spine-rattling hit, only to show that Nevada knows how to build them, making my knowledge in the hard-braking useless. A sudden shock of white is seen in the gap between the hills. Is that a snow-covered hilltop in the distance? It's like playing peekaboo with the flash of white. The hills roll, obscure, and fight, revealing their secrets. I know my rolling beast in time will bring this mystery to light. 2 more curves and then dropping down from a hill show that it is not a peak but a valley. It dawns on me that it might actually be a dried salt plain, a one-time salt lake. When planning this route, I had not really set any goals, other than having my motorcycle in all the lower 48 states in as little time as possible. Rolling into the town of Wendover, Utah, all I know is that it is a dry salt bed. I dismount and refuel at one of the numerous gas stations, then go in to ask the clerk about this salt flat. I can't wait to ask a resident if that is the specific salt flat I think it is. I walk up to her and ask, "I have a question for you. Is that the Bonneville Salt Flats?" The middle-aged lady operating the register looks at me and says, "I don't know what it's called, but they do race on the other end of town." I ask, "Is it dry all year long?" She says, "Sometimes when it rains a lot, the flats will fill up with a little water, so it is not always dry." I reason that there could be other smaller ones in the States, so this might not be Bonneville. I leave the station and pull up the maps on my phone just to see if this is indeed the legendary Bonneville Salt Flats. Turns out it is. With this knowledge, I take all her info with the skepticism due someone who does not even know the name of the most famous part of this old salt lake. For a local to not know what is in their own hometown strikes me as odd. One thing I have learned today is how stagnant people can be. Go out and see your town, people. Bonneville has been the location of many land speed record attempts. Lucky happenstances placed me here, and I am happy to see it in person, not just in books and magazines. Disappointed in the useless conversation with the gas attendant, I straddle and rattle my hog to life. We soon find that no real good sign exists on the road we take to cross over into Utah. But we do have a painted line delineating the states. The corresponding states are marked out on either side of this white line. Having gotten used to a sign or nothing at all, we took a photo of the ground. With another state secured, we roll out. Galloping our ponies north, we cross multiple overpasses and bridges that allow for unobstructed animal migration. I read an article about these before I took this trip, but seeing them in use is interesting to say the least. Multiple species of animals benefit from these concessions made by man. I will add expensive concessions at that. These over and underpasses help keep the animals' natural migration routes intact, which in turn allow for a diversified gene pool, which is only possible with the ease of mobility these crossings allow. Inbred animals like bear, mountain lion, and wolves can cause lots of problems in rural areas, like attacking humans and pets, children. Inbreeding is caused by restricted migration routes, like highways and fencing. Top-tier predators acting uncharacteristically violent? Yes, I believe that would justify the modification of existing infrastructure. Cruising along this northerly trek of Nevada, we happen upon a section of road that has a cattle guard, large fence, and a stoplight. The fence puts me in mind of fences used to keep large wildlife like buffalo and elk in place. It stands out because we are sitting in the middle of nowhere, idling our bikes, waiting on an empty road for a light that seems pointless. We are in a stack of about 4 other vehicles. I take several peeks around the side of the traffic, watching for a parade of cars destined to arrive, to no avail. The weather is not particularly warm today, yet sitting on top of that idling engine is only getting hotter. This makes the wait even more frustrating, and we begin questioning the purpose of the delay. Maybe we should run this light. Maybe we should pull on the shoulder and pass these other waiting motorists. We need miles, not restricted access to a barren grassland. How odd. There are only 2 lanes of traffic, well-defined painted divider lines, and no construction. What are we waiting for? Finally, the light changes and we begin to move. No other vehicle of any kind do we pass coming from the other direction. We ride the stretch of restricted highway and cross no other cattle guard, or find another light holding back opposing traffic. To this day, we don't know what that light was there for. A frustrating delay for sure. One of our party is showing signs of needing some urgent care assistance. Today, she shows the beginnings of an illness that threatens to thwart our desired goal. As we roll into Twin Falls, Idaho, my wife and I offer to go and wait with them to seek help, but they tell us not to worry about it. This won't take long, they reassure us. I hope she is right and everything goes well for her comfort and the destiny of our trip. So we separate, us to the hotel and our riding partners to the only aid available, the emergency room. The quick service at the hospital brings the couple back quickly, adequately medicated, and back to the hotel for dinner and rest. If things continue to progress with this illness, the rest of the ride will be off. We turn in with our fingers crossed that the antibiotics will do their work in short order. We shall see come morning. That is all for this day. Until next time, my name is James Parker, and I am a Savage Rider. Savage Rider, out. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, consider giving it a like and sharing it with your friends. If you would like to be notified of future releases, consider subscribing to my channel. If you think it was cringe and absolutely ridiculous, go ahead and tell me in the comments below. Then share it with your friends. They may need a dose of cringe silliness today. Either way, thank you and God bless.